Good evening, everybody. And I got a surprise guest in the back because he is excited as all can be.
I want to fucking go. Let's fucking go.
Let's go. Donald, what's up, man?
I'm fucking delirious right now.
You're delirious, dude. I couldn't believe it, man. That was crazy. That was crazy. Wow, like that's the Yankees that we all know.
Oh
That's
my god. What a
man.
fucking moment, man. I can't
2
believe
home runs by Soto. I mean,
I can't believe I saw that, bro. Oh
that's
shit.
insane. But shout out to the chat. Shout out to my guy Donald from Pinstripe Chronicles Podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe to Pinstripe Chronicles Podcast. But what's up to everybody in the chat? We got Jonathan, Stephen B. What is up? Dev Finch, what is going on? We got my guy Jack in the building. What's up, Jack? Who else? We got Jonathan in the building. Joel, my friend, how you doing? Jared, what's up? Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, what's going on? Make sure you all subscribe to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. He always uploads a bunch of highlights from games. Does a really good job there. But shout out to the chat. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Share this out with anybody you know. The Yankees won. What a comeback. I mean, 7-2 on this West Coast road trip. Did any of us expect that? Let's be honest.
Dude, that was just what a series, bro. I'm just still so I was just so happy to see what I just saw that I had to jump on for a minute and give you a shout out and salute to everyone in the chat. Just so excited, man. That I had a feeling that a cinematic moment would happen, and Soto did that. So to get a 7-2 road trip in California is incredible, really. And for Aaron Judge to put on the show in front of his family and in front of everyone in San Fran's pretty damn cool. And Soto just continues to put on a show. It's just, this team is remarkable. This team is remarkable, and it's going to be fun. This summer is going to be special.
42-19. They're 23 games over 500 right now. 1,500 hit by Giancarlo Stanton with that double that he had in the bottom of the ninth. That's his 1,500 hit. So incredible, man. Like all around, just what a comeback. That's what I call a comeback. That's a Yankees comeback. It
was cinema, bro. It was freaking cinema. Oh, wow. So yeah, me and Rob were texting from the Pinstripe Chronicles. We were texting the whole thing. We couldn't believe it. And it was jumping around. Very, very cool. Very, very cool.
Speaking of Rob, there he is. What's up, Rob? My guy. I don't know where you are, but if you wanted to jump on, I got Donald on here with me. He decided to surprise us, so I'm like, all right, cool, let's go, man. Let's rock out. My boy Nithin Ramachandra, what's going on, Nithin? Shout out to my guy Nithin. Hopefully everything is well with you and your family, man. I know you all are going through some tough times, but shout out to my guy Nithin for setting up him and his team have been getting in touch with these former players and getting all these interviews for me. It's been awesome. So
cool.
Yeah.
So cool. Salute to everyone in the chat.
Yeah, salute to everyone in the chat. You all know Donald. A lot of you know who Donald is. Rob said he'll jump on. Yeah, jump on for a minute, man. Let's celebrate this win. Again, guys, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe, share this out with anybody you know. Greatly appreciate it. It would mean, and any support you give to this channel is greatly appreciated as well. So,
NFD. Me and Rob were gonna do a live stream for the Dodger game on Friday night. If you wanted to hop on with us, we're gonna do
like Friday night.
Yeah, the big game with Yamamoto and the Dodgers. We're thinking.
Yeah, I might.
So
I'll see if I can jump on. So y'all are gonna go you guys are gonna during the game. Y'all are going live.
Yeah, we're gonna do a live stream.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
So
yeah.
So everyone in the chat, go and check us out, Pinstripe Chronicles.
Yeah.
And I think that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, no doubt. It's actually pretty fun doing these live streams. I've been doing a lot of pre-games and some post-games. They're great.
I noticed that, man. I noticed. It's awesome.
Yeah. The post games, I'll do them if Jason is not on from 161.
Right.
Well, I texted him. I was like, "Hey, are you doing a post game?" And he said he wasn't going to be able to. So I'm like, "All right, cool. I'll do it." You know. So yeah, it was all good, man. So a couple of other people jumped in. What up, Ken? What up, Javier? What's going on? Yeah, get those brooms. Get those brooms. My guy Brad from Australia. What's up, Brad? And my guy D-Rod. All right, man. The lock on that closet is still working, my guy. So what Donald is talking about, him and Rob are gonna go live during the game against the Dodgers. Yamamoto's supposed to be pitching that game, and I think it's gonna be Cody Poteet, if I'm not mistaken. Right? So I think Poteet will be fine. He's similar to Clark Schmidt in terms of like performance. I mean, he pitched. If Clark Schmidt pitched yesterday, it probably would have been a similar performance. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, he worked out of trouble. He pitched so much better than Cortez did today.
Yeah, when Soto busted.
D-Rod, I was going bananas. D-Rod.
Oh, and Robinho was trying to connect, so Robinho will be on here momentarily. Let's get my guy on here. Let's make sure his camera's working. But wow, yeah, that was a victory. That was a comeback win. You know, they were down 5-3. You know, Nestor didn't have the greatest game, obviously, when he pitches away from Yankee Stadium. What is up, my guy? What's up, Rob? Can you hear me?
Yeah, am I on?
You guys you're on. Yeah, okay. You're on.
Scratchy ass voice.
Yeah, you sick?
Just yelling. No, I was screaming off the top of my lungs when Juan Soto hit that home run. So I think my voice is giving way.
Well, without losing your voice even more, tell me how you're feeling, man. Tell me, talk to us, bro.
Let me take a sip of some San Francisco tears real quick because, that tastes good. What a fucking series, man. It's good. And he's got the Soto, I got the Judges. This duo is unbelievable, man. Holy crap. I can't believe it. That rally was insane. I'm running around my house like a madman. I'm losing my voice. This is Yankees baseball. This is the baseball that we miss, man. It's great. And I know I'm not going to have a voice by tomorrow morning, but it's fine because I'll be on the show getting ready for the 10 a.m. series recap. But we got to enjoy this, man. This is fun.
Yeah, I honestly expected 2 out of 3, if I'm being honest, but it almost happened. But I'll take what is that, 7-3? Right?
7-2.
Oh, 7-2. I'll take that all day.
7-2.
Yeah. TC Steels, what's up, TC? What's going on, my guy?
How sweep it is, baby. Let's go.
How sweep it is. That's right. But
damn, those Soto bombs, man, they looked like Barry Bonds out there. The way that he absolutely smashed them in a right field, it looked like Bonds out there.
Yeah, I'm at a loss for words. It's just that comeback. I mean, it started with Trevino hustling down that line. You know, if he didn't hustle the way he did, that would have been a double play, and that could have been the end of the inning. You know, maybe they wouldn't have that.
It was clutch, man. Mm-hmm. It was cinema. That whole inning was cinema. It was just remarkable, and that's why I was so excited. I'm really glad we got a post game that we could talk about it because it was just too good to let it slide. It was so special, man. This team is special.
Pizza. What's going on, Cold Italian Pizza?
Exactly, Cold Italian, but don't forget Volpe, because Volpe, Soto, Judge, and Stanton, and Verdugo, they all were so important in this game, man. They all had huge moments. In fact, all series. And yeah, TC, props to Glaber for starting the rally. It all came together that inning.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, man. Today's game, I was a little worried. You know, they were going to lose 5-3, but I would have been like, you know what, they still got 2 out. You know, they still would have gotten 2 out of 3. But now it's like they move on. They have a day off tomorrow, so they're going back to New York. So they got the Twins and the Dodgers coming. You know what I mean? This month is going to be a tough schedule for them. I don't know if you guys looked at the schedule, but they have a tough month ahead of them.
Nothing
but
phases
they
me.
awarded themselves.
I'm not saying it should phase you, but Sean Browning, what's up? He was on the bench.
Trust me, every single opponent is looking at their calendar going, "Oh fuck, we got the Yankees." I guarantee you that.
Yeah, talking with the win. Can you believe it?
They'll be like, "Oh no, Soto and Judge are going to face us."
Yeah,
fuck. That's what everyone's thinking right now.
Yeah.
By the way, just to reiterate, the only two people in baseball with 1,000 OPS.
Oh, Judge and Soto, right? Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm at a loss for words as far as like how this team just came back and won. I'm like, this is what we envision, right? They're down, they're down a couple of runs, they're down one run, bottom of the ninth. They got, perfect timing. You got Soto, you got Judge. These guys are just coming through in the clutch. So oh man, yeah. I'm at a loss for words. I'm excited. I'm just really excited. I didn't yell at the top of my lungs, but I was just like, oh my God. Just like
we did all the yelling for you, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I kind of need my voice. I don't want to lose my voice. But Ken is saying that the O's lost today, so that's good. So what are we like 3 games ahead? Right?
It's 3.5.
Yeah, I mean it's still early for me to be looking at the division, but yes, we are. We're ahead in the division by 3 games, so that's all good, baby. It's all good, but I'm just so happy that we're crushing it, man. Best team in baseball, got the best offense in baseball, got the 2 best players in baseball. This is what we're alive for this shit, and I love it. This is so fucking cool.
Yeah. So, what was it? I see this comment from Texas Buckeye. What's up, Texas Buckeye? NFE, Soto's another kind of Judge. I mean, he's a different caliber, I still feel like him and Judge are 2 totally different players. I don't know how you guys feel.
I think for me, I think Soto's the best all-around hitter in baseball, but Judge is the best power hitter in baseball, and I don't think it's particularly close. Like Judge might be the best power hitter of the last 50 years.
Yeah, Judge is he's just on a different level.
Oh, he's on a different pantheon.
Yeah,
the power. But Soto is second to no one, and that's just a fact. Soto is second to no one. He's generational. He's already the top 100 best players to ever live already. So the fact that we got 2 of them in our team is insane. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, and Ken, I agree. I still want us to put the distance between the Yankees and the rest of the division. I would love to see that, but the Orioles are going to put up a fight. They're plain and simple. They're going to put up a fight. They're a good team, right? They're loaded too. But I have a feeling the next time we face them, man, this is going to be a totally different Yankees team that they're going to see. So, and whenever the Yankees play them in Camden Yards, it's tough, right? They play the Yankees tough in Camden. So,
$1 billion, Juan Javier Velez. Juan Soto has to be like $1 billion at this point. Whatever it takes. Empire State Building, Statue of Liberty, the whole freaking thing.
No, yeah, Juan Soto definitely wants to go to the Mets. That's what we're being told.
Oh yeah, of course. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I would hate to go. I would hate to be playing with Aaron Judge right now. Personally, I would hate to have to be part of a 42-win team. I would hate it. I would love to go to a team whose bullpen guy throws his glove into the crowd. That's where I want to go because Sal Licata says so. That's where I want to go. We don't need to talk about the Mets here. We don't need to talk about the Mets because the Yankees are playing the best baseball we've seen them play in the last decade plus. I don't think I've seen a run this impressive with the way they're playing.
Yeah, same. Like the only comparison's 2009, and this is much more impressive. 2009, we got rocking and rolling really in the summer. That's when we really started to bulldoze. But we've been rocking and rolling since day one. That's where it's totally different. Like 2009, we started off a little slow. We kind of scuffled our feet a little bit. Not this team. This team have been just red hot from the very first pitch, and it's been remarkable to see.
Yeah. And before we answer this question, would you guys agree that the 2024 Yankees is better than the 2009 Yankees by far?
Early.
Early? Okay, not yet.
Yeah.
All right.
Not yet. We're talking about like Derek Jeter,
sure,
A-Rod and then Johnny Damon and Hideki Matsui. That team was freaking stacked. And then you had CC Sabathia and stuff. And then
you kind of have that.
That team was ridiculous, right? The 2009 team was ridiculous. But this is the best team since 2009, and it's not close.
I feel like they match up well.
Listen, we've got two very special players, so I'm just delirious with this team.
And I know
some aspects of it are already better, but it's still early. It's still very, very, very early.
For sure. And Ken is asking, what's your guys' opinions on Soto's impending contract numbers? I mean, I've already had in my mindset of 12 years, $600 million. That's been my prediction, but it could very well change. But what do you guys got?
I think you're probably looking at 700 now.
Probably.
He might eclipse Ohtani. Despite, what they should do, since the Dodgers gave Yamamoto $1 million more than Cole, they should give Soto 701. Just to fuck with Ohtani. But he deserves it, man. Maybe 15 years. I don't know. It's not until he's 40. You might get him at that point. I just don't know if the Yankees are going to get outbid by anybody. Because why would he want to leave this? Unless he's going to an absolute juggernaut team, like if the Braves said, "Here, come here," or the Phillies said, "We'll take you." Those are two teams that are ready to win. But
so are we. We're a juggernaut ourselves. So
I'm just thinking what other team could possibly pry him away? It would be a team that's ready to win and can pony up the money. And there's only a handful of those teams that can do both. And one of them's the Dodgers. I don't know how much more they're going to spend. The other ones are the Phillies, Braves, maybe Houston. I don't think the Mets are going to be in that conversation.
But the thing is, there's no other team in the league or even in sports where every road game's a home game for Juan Soto, because there's Yankee fans that basically are all over the country, and they go to all the road games and cheer louder than all the freaking home teams. That doesn't happen anywhere,
Yankees fans are
when I went to PNC Park, it was 80-20 Yankee fans. And that was when we played the Pirates and PNC. I think it was 2 summers ago. It was 80-20 Yankee fans. It was sold out, and it was all Yankee fans. So it's just every road game's full of Yankee fans. So Soto's not going to want to leave that, man. He's not. That'd be insane to consider that.
I mean, he's the perfect player for the Yankees. I mean, he fits the profile. It's like the Bronx, New York Yankees, the Dominican community. It's like, what more can you ask for? The energy of New York. Because he does not seem phased one bit. As soon as that trade happened, he adapted right away. He didn't need any time to adapt to the team. He was just firing on all cylinders from day one. So,
and we could thank Aaron Judge for that. I think Aaron Judge really showed his captain chops with the way that he welcomed Juan Soto immediately and stepped aside to share the limelight with him, which you have to considering how good he is and how generational Aaron Judge is, to be cool to share the limelight with someone else just as good. Shows a lot of the character that Aaron Judge has, and that's why he is the captain.
Yeah, no doubt. And this comment right here from Sean Browning, Boris could screw the. No, I don't think so. I think he learned his lesson in this past off season. He screwed up big time, and Jordan Montgomery ended up firing him. So Boris better he better get his stuff together. So
Blake Snell's been injured 5 times already. 5 cents. He's missed 5 games already, and he already missed a bunch of games because of the late signing. I feel bad for Blake Snell. He's not nearly as bad as this. He's not 10 ERA bad at all. So we can definitely thank Boris for that. Jesus.
Yeah, and he left the game today, man.
Yeah, it's a shame, man. I said it on Twitter earlier. Just it's a damn shame what Boris did to his clients this offseason. It cost them hundreds of millions of dollars, or at least $100 million. Blake Snell had no spring training, and look at him. He's hurt. Montgomery had no spring training, and he stinks right now. Dude's got an ERA of well over 4. So these are 2 guys that I would have loved to have brought to the Yankees this offseason with a normal spring. But as we got further into the spring, you knew there were some questions, but Yankees dodged a bullet. And that's not on the pitcher. It's not on Montgomery. It's not on Snell, because those are 2 good pitchers. One's a 2-time Cy Young, the other's a World Series champion. And we know Montgomery straight up. We know what he can be. So to see them struggle like this, and now Snell's hurt again, who knows what his season's going to look like now. It's all on Boris for holding him back as long as he did. And that's why I said all offseason, pitchers cannot wait till the last minute to sign. They have to get there as soon as possible. Hitters, you can go into spring a couple of weeks late. You'll get a little bit of a slow start, but eventually you'll get going. But it's a damn shame what Scott Boras did to those guys.
Yeah, and Chet's comment here is saying Ohtani's only making $700 million because he's getting paid as a 2-position player. You really think that they're going to give that to Soto? I say 12 years, $600 million. That's $50 million per year. I mean, yeah, but Ohtani's not going to be a 2-way player for much longer. Let's be honest. I mean, he's just got his second Tommy John. I mean, what do you guys think? It's 2 or 3 more years of Ohtani pitching?
Depends. Depends on how he comes back next year. If he pitches like he did last year, and I don't know. It's just I understand what Chet's saying here, but if that's what it takes to get Soto, I don't think the Yankees are going to say no. I don't think he's going to get 700. I think it'll be like 5 something, maybe 600 max. I don't think it'll be 700. When I said that, it was more like a joke, but
yeah, I know.
I don't think anyone's going to get 700 million ever again. It's just because it was deferred. That's why he ended up getting such a high amount. If it was like a normal contract, it would have been smaller, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's weird. Ohtani's contract was so weird.
Yeah, it was. And, I know a lot of people are saying that, they're talking about current market value. I mean, but at the end of the day, he's still going to get paid, whether it's now or later. That contract is worth $700 million. So it is what it is. Because, I understand. Again, I understand with current market value, what he's getting paid right now. I understand that. But
I have a feeling it'll be 14 years.
14, I can see it, because Soto's going to be 26 in October. So 14 years, that'll take him to 40. I know Joel put in there opt-outs. You got to have some opt-outs in there, because originally Joel here was saying 14 years for $700 million with an opt-out at 5 and 10 years. So on his fifth and 10 year, I don't know how you all feel about that, but that could be a possibility.
Yeah, that's true. And Lou's right here. Ohtani is a money-making machine for the Dodgers. That's why he's getting paid so much, regardless of it. But so Soto. Soto will repay his contract within a couple months.
Yeah.
He probably already has. Like, you imagine just the jersey sales alone when they got him. You've got a shirt on. I've got his jersey in my closet. And you see all the Soto jerseys that are going to be flying off the shelves after today, I'm sure. And if he signs an extension, guess what? People are probably hesitant because they don't know if he'll be back. But if they extend him, you're not going to find a Soto jersey very easily.
Yeah, it's probably going to be 2 years till you see jerseys again.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to find a Soto jersey. It was hard for me to find one for the longest time, and that was just when he got traded. Imagine if he signs an extension, it's going to be 22 and 99 all over Yankee Stadium with a few 11s and 45 sprinkled in.
Facts.
What do you guys think of this question from Michael Caputo?
It's there's actually not a question there, so it isn't really a matter of opinion. Like, just look at the stats.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't even close. I think Aaron Judge has more extra base hits than Mookie Betts has all year, and he had it in just the month of May.
Yeah,
right.
no doubt.
And the two best OPS home runs. They're both on course for hitting like something in the region of like 100 home runs between them. So I would say that's not a question, bro. It ain't a question.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's got to be Judge and Soto. Like, it's got to be Judge and Soto. Well, it's insane. I think that's what Judge needed too. I think he just needed to be thrown out of a game for there to be a fire on the room, because he got thrown out of that one game by the umpire, and ever since then he's just been absolutely killing it. So
Facts.
I love it, man. I love it, and he's just been breaking all sorts of records too. Aaron Judge. So I mean, he's putting up like Babe Ruth type of numbers. I mean, it's crazy.
And it's gonna be a fun summer. Just trust me on that.
There was one stat from Sarah Lang. I can't remember like every stat specifically, but it was something that hadn't been done since Babe Ruth in like 1921. If that's the kind of 20 game span or whatever it is that Judge put up. I'll try to find it, but
wasn't it 12? That was like 13 doubles, 12 home runs in 20 games, something like that. I think it was that.
Yeah, let me try to find that.
Yeah. Let's see. Soto current contract doesn't give him any money on jersey sales, to my knowledge. The next contract will for sure. I mean, I'd have to. I don't know.
It was Nosebleed. Wendell Stat, the guy that threw out Aaron Boone for no reason, is the same guy that that made that egregious call first base today.
Yeah, that was. I thought it was Wendell Stat. I'm like, wait, that name sounds familiar. I was like, I think that was Wendell Stat that threw him out. So that was absolutely yeah. Well, I'm glad he didn't throw anybody out today or make any bad calls.
Yes, Javier. Hector's a good friend of ours from the Pinstripe Chronicles. So he's doing great work out there. Doing great work for the Knicks and for the Yankees and for the Liberty as well now. Cool.
I got the stat here from Sarah. 15 home runs, 10 or more doubles, 20 or more walks in a 25 game span. Judge this year and Babe Ruth in 21. Two players have done that. Two.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's incredible. Jacob Petruzzi. What's up, Jacob? How you doing, man? How you doing? But yeah, we're just over here celebrating the Yankees sweep. What a comeback win. I mean, again, what more can you ask for? You know, this team has just been they've been killing it in the month of May. You know, even some better news. Garrett Cole is going to make his rehab start on Tuesday with Somerset.
Let's go. This what's already been an amazing year is about to get a hell of a lot better.
Here's that negotiations ad. Yeah, probably D-Rod. You might be right on this. You might be right on this.
You might get him for 50. I think 50 is a fine number. It could be 47 if he just wants to be the highest paid player. But I don't think he said it himself. It's not all about the money. Of course, he wants to get paid, but if the Yankees come up to him and say, we're going to give you 45 a year for 13 years, you think he's going to say no and stay with the Yankees? Like, unless a team like the ones I mentioned earlier come out and say, we'll give you $50 million a year for 15 years or whatever, and you get to go try to win a championship in LA or something, he might take that. But the Yankees have the obvious inside track to get him. He clearly loves being here. He's on the best team in the league right now, and he's part of the best duo that I've ever seen. So it's insane what we're doing, what these two are doing, and what Soto has been to this team. He's saved the first couple of series, really. If not for Juan Soto, we don't sweep Houston. Like, he's already been worth every single penny that we paid him in his contract and the pieces we gave up for him, because we don't miss any of those guys. And that's crazy because we gave up a lot of key pieces.
Yeah, facts. And guys, make sure you all sub to Rob, Donald, and Uncle Tats over there at the Pinstripe Chronicles. They do good work. They go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you all tune in. They do a really good job. And sometimes, and I say this jokingly, sometimes you'll see Donald kind of lose his mind, but it's all good. When the Yankees are playing bad, particularly with Gleyber Torres. It's all good though, man. It's all love, bro. It's all love. We kind of somewhat bash Gleyber Torres a little bit when he makes some knucklehead plays, But Arson Judge is definitely the greatest of all time. I love Arson Judge. And Texas Buckeyes saying, men who could have signed up for this in the spring. Who would have signed up? I don't think any of us, really.
It's remarkable.
Yeah.
Soto's even exceeded our expectations, and our expectations for him were huge, and he's already exceeded them already.
Yeah, and Snell wishes he had Stroman's spot in the rotation, but his loss, whatever, man. Him and his wonderful agent kind of shot themselves in the foot, but that's their problem.
By the way, salute to Brian Cashman, man. He refused to be outbid, and he made the smart call.
Yeah, that was a good call.
Brian Cashman had an unbelievable winter, amazing winter. Really did. He doesn't get enough credit for it, but he
had to go to work this offseason because he knew last season was an absolute disaster, and he said it himself and was just like, all right, well, things need to change around here. And, Nestor is still struggling big time. So on the road, that is, right, when he's pitching at home.
I'm no Nestor fan. No,
you're not a Nestor fan?
No.
No?
I think Rob's higher on him than I am. I'm
not on the road. I'm not. when that guy pitches away from Yankee Stadium, there goes my voice crack. When he pitches away from Yankee Stadium, he's tough to watch. When he's at home, he's fantastic. I don't know. Can you find a way to make sure he only pitches at home?
That's it. That's the only option.
It really sucks about Clark Schmidt because Nestor is the black sheep of this rotation, but he hasn't been bad though. Like his ERA is the highest in the rotation, and it's still very good for a fifth starter. Like if his numbers, you put him in like a lot of other rotations, he'd be like a number 2 or 3. For us, he's the fifth guy. So good this rotation's been. Cody Poteet, we haven't even talked about him yet. He came out there and pitched pretty well.
Fine.
Against a good Giants team. So I give him a lot of credit. This rotation's been fantastic, and then you have Poteet go in there and give you another solid start, 5 innings, which is all we've been getting all season from our starters, 5 innings or more. It's been great.
Yeah, Poteet, he put on a Clark Schmidt type of performance yesterday. So, if he's going to be the starting pitcher moving forward till Clark Schmidt gets back, I'll take those types of performances from him all day, every day.
Yeah, we just need 3 starts.
Right. If Nestor's your fifth starter, you're not losing because he's actually his numbers are actually fine.
Who's that, Nestor? Or
his numbers are fine. It's on the road, but overall, still very, very serviceable.
Yeah, I wish I heard the announcers for San Fran crying their Texas Buckeye, but oh well. But yeah, Chrissy, a sweep, and Joe was saying.
I'm gonna go back and listen, man. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, I want to listen to it too. I'd love to listen to it too. And Poteet had not pitched in 11 days, so he will be better in his next start. Yeah. Because he was hurt. He had a
blister. Yeah, he was out. That's what Mikey just brought up. So that's actually a really good point right there, Joe. I forgot about that. He had just come off the minor league IL. So 11 days without pitching, and he pitched pretty well against a good team. The Giants are not great, but they're a solid team. That's a playoff team if they were healthy. They lost Jung-Ho Lee. Snell's been hurt. Cobb was hurt. They've lost a lot of key pitchers. Yeah. That's a good team when they're at full strength. And we took care of it. And we came back against a really good closer, too. Their closer is filthy. And shout out to Volpe. Shout out to Trevino for beating out the double play. And, of course, shout out to Juan Soto. And shout out to Giancarlo Stanton, too. Had some big hits late in the last 2 nights to put us forward and pull away for the win. That's huge.
He's something else because some of his swings were outrageously ugly, right? But then he still came through and hit a home run and a monster double And overall, it was a very positive series for Stanton. I'll take it, man. I'll take it all day.
Yeah, and Ken's comment here about Cortez. I mean, he's saying he couldn't locate his fastball, but he was amazed that he was still able to have 7 strikeouts as crappy as he was pitching. That said, Cortez did his job and kept us in the game until the bats came to life. I mean, Cortez, the thing is, like, even if he has a bad outing, it kind of reminds me of that first game against Houston. He got knocked around in those first 2 innings. I think the Yankees were down like 3-0, 4-0. He still kept himself in the game, still pitched well, and then the Yankees bats just came through. I mean, that seems to be the story this season so far. They help pick each other up. What do you guys think?
Facts, absolutely.
The San Francisco channel was saying walk Judge in every at bat today. Yeah, I bet.
They did it yesterday. I was cracking up when they intentionally walked him yesterday. Like, they do not want to face this guy. He was getting the Bonds treatment in Bonds' backyard. That's pretty impressive. They were afraid of him. That's how red hot he is.
Yeah, I was watching. I was watching the highlights of last night's game just because I was tuning into the fights last night. There was UFC fights last night, and I couldn't miss it. So that's what I did. But I was definitely checking in on the game, and I was just like, "Holy smokes!" I was like, "All right, this team is killing it." Yeah, Dev, my hat, it's not with me right now. I mean, I could go grab it, not a problem. So I know my guys here; they're rocking their gear. It's all good.
Oh yeah, and I'll be rocking it tomorrow. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off. Salute to you. Great work today, NFE.
Thanks a lot, Donald. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow morning. Again, this is Donald Stewart. He is part of Pinstripe Chronicle podcast. Make sure you all tune in. Make sure you all subscribe to their channel. Like, they're doing some good stuff over there. Rob, if you want to stick around, bro, you want to stick around?
Yeah,
heck yeah,
sure.
Let's go. And we got my guy Anthony Garcia in the building. What's up, Anthony? Hopefully you're doing well. And Jack is asking, gentlemen, if the Yankees are looking for a starter, who do you think they will get? I don't know that they'll go after a starter, honestly.
Yeah, you got to see how Cole looks in the rehab. You got to see how he looks when he eventually comes back. You know you're going to get Schmidt back. They have Brubaker in July. He'll be ready. I don't know if they're going to go after a start, like a big name starter. If they do make a move, it'll be for like a fringe 6-starter long man type that can give them a spot start. But clearly, when Cole is back, Poteet's going down. So Poteet's an option. Beater, when he eventually comes off the minor league IL, he's another option. Yoendrys Gomez is an option. I don't know if they're going to go crazy for starting pitching. If they add anything, I think it'll be a bullpen arm or two.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're going to add starting pitching.
Yeah, agreed. I think a bullpen arm, particularly a lefty bullpen arm, would be good. A starter, I think they'll just stick with somebody within their own team, like within their own organization. Like, I would have loved to see what's his face, Will Warren, but I know he's not pitching great right now at the minors.
No, he's been rough.
Yeah, what's going on with him, man? Because I know you focus a lot on the prospects. Like, what's the deal?
We're trying to figure this out every time we watch him pitch, and we're just thinking. Like, I talk to Dane all the time about it, and we were on a Twitter space the other night. I think we were in there for a little bit. I don't know if you caught that conversation. We're just kind of puzzled. Is it a mechanical thing? Is he hiding an injury? I think he knows how highly the team thinks of him, and he knows that he's got a chance to be the next man up in this rotation. And maybe he's just thinking too hard, and he's trying too much. I think he might have too much of a pitch mix. When you throw 5 or 6 pitches, eventually some of them they're not going to be as good as if you have like a 3 or 4 pitch mix. So maybe he needs to focus on finding his 3 or 4 best and just focus on that. His start, I think he pitched yesterday, was a little bit better. So hopefully that continues in the right track. But I think he's just kind of in his head right now because he's got the stuff to be a solid middle of the rotation arm, 3, 4, or 5 type of guy. Nothing higher than that, but still he has the potential to be a heavy innings eater in a rotation and a guy that can give you a solid ERA, maybe high threes, maybe even mid threes. But it's been rough watching him pitch, and it's a shame because this would have been a perfect chance to get him up here with the Schmidt injury.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. I'm wondering too if, like, since he lost out on that job against Luis Hill, if that somehow messed with him psychologically, because he did so well in spring training. I mean, you thought, okay, maybe this guy could potentially be the fifth starter, and he could have been, but Luis Hill outperformed him. It is what it is. I hope he can turn it around. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So, again, I know you mentioned who's Clayton Beater. You mentioned Clayton Beater. He's still on the IL, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know when he's supposed to come back, and it's a shame because he looked great.
Later,
three
Joel.
pitches in his first game. Later, Joel. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Beater. Hopefully they get him going soon. I just looked at Warren's numbers. He's got an 8.08 ERA, but his last start was a lot better. So hopefully it's a trend in the right direction for him.
This guy's saying put Rizzo on IL, call up Dominguez. No, Reiki channel. Not happening.
Hey, can Dominguez learn first base by Tuesday? Then I'm all for it. I'm willing to put anybody over there because it's tough watching Rizzo right now. He can't hit. His defense is taking a nosedive. But I think he's a streaky guy at this point. He can get hot starting Tuesday night for all we know. But he looks rough right now. Him and Torres, although Torres got the rally started. So
yeah, no doubt. I mean, there's been a lot of we discuss a lot on this channel. I know you guys do. I'm sure about Jason Dominguez. Look, I think Jason Dominguez. I mean, we got a small sample size of him, right? Back in 2023, he looked good, right? I don't want to say that this guy is going to be like a savior of this team. I think he'll be a big contributor to this team. He'll be part of the buildup of this team's future. I just, I know some people, I've just some folks in the chat, they were just like, we truly don't know what his talents are going to be. He's a prospect at this point. Like, sure, I think he'll be a contributor. I just, people are wanting to bring him up, but it's like, if you bring him up, where is he going to play? You can't play him anywhere. So I think he'll be a September call up when they can expand the roster.
The only way you can possibly do it is if they got rid of Grisham and they use Dominguez as like a rotational player. Like one day he DHs and you can sit Stanton. Another day he plays left and maybe you sit Verdugo against a lefty pitcher, although he's killing it right now. So I don't know how you sit Verdugo. Realistically, you're just waiting for an injury.
Right.
If we get one to one of our starters, then that's where Dominguez comes up. Because right now there's no need for him. I want to see him up here as soon as possible, but unless they absolutely need him, then we won't see him. And that's fine, because next year he'll be the starting center fielder and maybe left fielder, depending on where they want to put Judge. But his time will be here. But the way Verdugo's swinging the bat right now, you can't take him out of the lineup. Stanton's getting a hot streak again. Can't take him out. Aaron Judge is the best player in baseball, and Soto, of course. You're not taking those guys out for anybody. So that's kind of where you're stuck with Dominguez. But he will be here. And if not for Verdugo playing the way he is, he probably would have been called up as soon as his rehab assignment ended. But it's a good problem because you got a really good player waiting in the wings, and you've got a really good team right now. So you got backup just in case.
Yeah, it's just my thing is this. I've heard other people say to trade Grisham. You could trade Grisham and then bring Dominguez up, but the problem is, I'd rather Dominguez come up and get the opportunity to play instead of just being a bench guy. And he's getting plenty of playing time right now at the minors, and I'd rather him be doing that and just continue playing consistently and developing his game than to like call him up and like have him sit on the bench and only play like every other day or every 2 or 3 days. There's really no rush to bring him on, like Brad is saying. I agree with Brad here. I don't think there's any reason to rush him. I think right now the Yankees are doing fine without him. And I know Trent Grisham is not like an attractive player, but he's just there as a filling guy. I mean, he wasn't traded to the Yankees for his bat. I mean, the Yankees got him for his defense, and he actually made a very good defensive play the other night when he caught that ball and created that double play, threw the guy out at first. So
yeah, I don't know what Grisham can't hit for crap. I wish he was a little bit better, at least for power, but the guy has 2 hits on the season. His average is 50. It's not even an exaggeration. It's below 100.
Yeah, no, it's below 100. It's like 0.051, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
It's bad.
It's not great. Yeah. And Ken is saying over the past 20 games, Torres has been hitting 314 with the fan base. This guy's been vilified. Same as Hicks, IKF, Sanchez in the past. This guy isn't going to get a break. Sort of sad. As I said earlier in this morning's live stream, Ken, I'm not here to bash Torres. I want him to play well. I always want him to play well. I absolutely want him to play well. It's just there's sometimes he misses plays that he shouldn't miss. Like he should not miss those plays. And it causes for the Yankees to lose games. Now, like, listen, I'm not complaining about the Yankees record right now, but some of those small plays, it adds up. And then they end up having a very long inning. Then they give up the lead, or the game ends up being tied up. But it's just small errors. Like I said, it does cause problems. It does, and they're making it seem like he's like another Chuck Knobloch. I wouldn't go as far as that, but he's got like 7 errors on the season right now, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So he doesn't have it's not the most in Major League Baseball amongst second basemen, but he has 7, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But errors add up, and it's not just with with Gleyber Torres. Anthony Rizzo his glove has been somewhat of a problem too. But what are you going to do?
And the thing with Gleyber, it's his defense, because and look, you brought up Gary Sanchez, Ken. There are a few people that were as heavy of a fan of the guy as me. I spent hours on our shows for the past 4 years defending Gary Sanchez. I'm sure Brad remembers. He was there from the beginning of this thing. So I love Gary. I was a huge fan of Gary. I still got his shirts. I still got his bobblehead. I still got his jersey. I love the dude. I wanted him to be the Yankees catcher of the future. But it was hard to excuse his lapses behind the plate. And it did cost the Yankees some big plays, especially in October. So the thing with Gleyber is he's making routine plays look difficult. And it's cost us a few games already. And that's the issue. We've only lost 19 games, and you can maybe put at least 3 of them on Gleyber Torres defensively, costing us a game. Late in the ball game, a bad defensive play led to a rally. So that's been the issue with him. I know his bat is better than this, and I know his glove is better than this. But right now, in a contract year, when you have 175 infielders in your minor league system, a few of them are already close. Vivas is close. Cerna's rising up the ranks. We can't forget about Arias and Lombard. And there's Peraza in the wings as well. It doesn't look good for Torres that he's making these defensive lapses. I hope that he gets it going, because I do like Gleyber Torres. But the way he's playing right now, Brad, thank you. You mentioned it earlier, Brad. His hitting is not making up for his bad defense right now. He's not tearing the cover off the ball completely. If he was hitting more home runs, sure, but it's tough right now, and it does suck. It does suck because he is getting a lot of unnecessary blame towards him when a lot of these issues are with him and Rizzo. So a lot of people are forgetting to mention Rizzo when they talk about Torres' lapses. But I just think we need a whole new right side of the infield, and we will have one next year. But these two are not going anywhere for now. They're not. Yeah. So as much as we might want to see it happen sooner or later, we know that Rizzo's not going anywhere and Torres is not going anywhere unless there's an injury. That's the only way they're not going to be on this team the rest of the way through.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, a lot of people saying, the other thing too is like, a lot of folks are saying, to bench Gleyber, which, listen, I understand where they're coming from, but the Yankees are going to continue playing him, whether we like it or not. It's the same thing with Gary Sanchez. He had a lot of defensive errors at the plate. Guess what? The Yankees were still playing him, that's just my thought on it, And D-Rod is saying, I'm just calling it as it is. IKF turned it around after he was put in a weak position from a shortstop. Why? Because he worked hard. Yeah, listen, IKF did well defensively. He wasn't bad, but his bat wasn't great. That was a problem with IKF. His bat was not an effective player. He wasn't that player that could, we could depend on him to come through in the clutch. He was not that guy. I had no problems with IKF. I actually liked IKF. He grew on me as a player. I'll say that, because prior I wasn't a fan of him, but then after a while he grew on me. Why? Because he would go out there, he would play, he would just put his head down. Defensively, yeah, he was good. He did what he can. He tried his best, but at the plate, his bat was not great.
Yeah, IKF was rough offensively, but look, last year he played his ass off because they put him anywhere they possibly could besides catcher, and he played his ass off and he played fine. Yeah. I don't miss him, but he did play well last year compared to his first year. And no, I get what you're saying completely. I completely understand what you're saying here, because he's been clutch throughout his career. I'll never forget, there was in his rookie season, the game against Cleveland, he had that big walk-off hit. And right then and there, I was like, this dude's going to be special. And he's got the potential to be a really good player. He's always had it. But when you see a guy that has all that potential and so many like mental lapses happen and these routine plays, he makes them look difficult. It's tough to be like, the guy's the complete package, because it was 2 years ago. He was a top maybe 3 second baseman in the game, not just the AL, but the entire sport. So I know it's there. I know he's not a 15 error 230 hitter. This is a guy that's going to hit 250 or better. He's going to hit 25 home runs on a good year like he did the last 2 years. He'll drive in a bunch. He'll play good enough defense, and he'll be clutch in big moments. That whatever it is, the first 2 months of this season, he hasn't been that guy. Luckily for him, there's still plenty of time to become that guy again, because he had a bit of a slow start last year, and then he picked it up. So we'll see how the months go. Now that the weather's warmer, we'll see if Gleyber warms up. But his defense needs to improve, because when one part of his game struggles, the other part starts to struggle. It's something we talked about for years with Gleyber Torres. He lets it get to his head. So hopefully if he heats up defensively, the rest will come. I need him to get better defensively, and then I'll be fully in support of Gleyber Torres.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. I mean, look, I like Gleyber Torres. I do. And I say that time and time again. But I also say that even if he has a good season, I don't see the Yankees bringing him back, right? Whether he has a good season or a bad season, the Yankees are going to look elsewhere. They'll probably bring up Vivas. Maybe they'll bring up, who knows, maybe Peraza plays second base. I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how the Yankees move forward with their infield. Because first base, I don't see Rizzo coming back. I don't see them picking up his option unless they decide, unless Aaron Judge says something, because he's got a voice, and him and Rizzo are like, best friends. But if Rizzo doesn't come back, maybe, I know I've asked you this question before, but maybe TJ Rumfield can fulfill that position. Is that a possibility?
Yeah. To me, he's the guy that takes over first base right now, unless they decide to try Spencer Jones over there, which I don't see happening, because he's so good in center field. So that's an issue, not an issue, but that's something they're going to have to solve, is where to put all these outfielders. Because you'll have Judge, hopefully Soto, Dominguez, and Jones potentially ready by next year. Where are you going to put all these guys? because you still have Stanton that's going to DH. That's why I think using Jones as a hybrid is the best way to go. But until they actually get him reps at first base, Rumfield's the guy for me. So we'll see. He's had a bounce back year. He struggled a little bit last year with the average. His power was up, but this year he's up to like 270 or maybe like low 80s. His defense is great. His defense is fantastic at first base, so we're not going to have to worry too much there. But he's a lefty with some pop. He's going to strike out, but he's going to have good enough offensive numbers. I think right now with the steps forward he's took the last 2 years, right now he's the best option for 2025 because the Yankees aren't going to spend after Soto.
No. And, Hal made that comment that, for them to have this kind of payroll that they have, it's not sustainable. And he's not lying. It really isn't, and they don't need to have a $300 million payroll to win a World Series. And other teams have shown that in the past. They're going to absolutely go after Juan Soto. The only other free agent that I could see them signing back is probably Clay Holmes, if they were to sign anybody back. So they might try and find a way to bring him back. So we'll see. And, D-Rod is saying IKF is not the talent Torres is, but he played hard. Torres is relying too much on talent, and you need more than that alone. Look, I don't disagree with that. But again, IKF unfortunately, he just wasn't a difference maker. That's more or less what I'm getting at. Yeah, he played hard. I appreciated IKF. I did. He was an absolute professional. I love the guy. But he didn't move the needle, though, with this team. And then, Ken brings up this comment about IKF here, Rob. He says his deal with IKF was that the Yankees mismanaged him. He was a Gold Glove third baseman. So what did the Yankees do? They made him a shortstop. How did they figure that was going to work out? Well, I agree. Yeah, I know, Ken. And I'm not sure why he played shortstop. That didn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, it's kind of the same thing as when they played Gleyber Torres put Gleyber Torres at shortstop. That they messed him. That was not the right move. But that was a thing of the past. I mean, they're no longer on this team. Or IKF is no longer on this team. But
it was weird when they made the trade because you knew they wanted a stopgap for Volpe, and IKF showed signs of being a solid shortstop, but he was so bad 2 years ago. And they did the same thing with Gleyber back in 2020 when they moved him to shortstop, because he did pretty well over there in 2019, filling in for Didi when Didi got hurt. So they said, okay, we don't need to bring back Didi. We can put all of our budget into Cole, move Torres to short. LeMahieu's going to play second. That obviously bit them in the ass because Torres was terrible over there and it almost derailed his career. It wasn't until they moved him back to second that he got back to normal. I don't know what it is with what they did with IKF. Look, they mistreated him, turned him into a utility player. And he did fine last year, and he got a contract with the Blue Jays. I don't know how he's doing, but I don't miss him. I don't. I liked what he did last year, but was fine not bringing him back. But the problems with all of these younger players being brought up at the same time is, the next player to come up from this group, like Dominguez's contract already technically started, I think. It might go by service time, so I would hope they extend Volpe early, do what the other teams have done. Like the Royals extended Bobby Witt Jr. so they don't have to worry about it. But maybe you do it to where like the Braves did, where they don't have to spend too much. You extend them early, you're not going to have to give them $30 million. So it is something you got to think about, but that's probably why they're going budget conscious right now. So if they spend on Soto and don't spend much on anything else, the payroll will continue to drop a little bit each year as they use the farm system more and get cheaper players, that they'll have enough to not have to go over 300 and be able to extend a lot of these guys. Then again, you have to hope that all these players turn out to be good major league players. They're not all going to be good. We know that. That's a fact. We're just hoping that at least 4 or 5 of these guys we're talking about turn out to be average at best major league players, and that's going to be fine because you can build a core. You can build a team, a good team with those young players around Judge and Soto and Volpe, Cole and Heel and all these other guys we have.
Yeah, listen, and that's the thing. I know a lot of fans, right? They're very much caught up with a lot of these young prospects because we're hearing all these names. They have a lot of potential. Only a few of them are going to work out. I mean, you're not going to be able to bring them all up, right? The Yankees have an influx of infielders, like they have a plethora of infielders. Yeah, not there at some point though. All these guys that they have, like at some point, he's going to have to, they're going to have to move them, trade them, or DFA them, or whatever the case may be. I mean, I know, the one big name that everybody keeps talking about, Arias, right? But I hear Arias is not so hot right now. Apparently, he's not playing well. Is that correct?
Bit of a slow start, but again, he's like 19 years old. 19 years old. Him and Lombard, if they have slow starts in single A, you're not going to really look too much into it. All right, thank you, Ken. I'm glad to hear that. Once he gets a certain amount of playing time, then the clock will start on him. So they got plenty of time with Dominguez, and same thing with Volpe. He's only in his second year. Arias has been a bit of a rough start for his season, so we're not really looking to see him until 2026, the earliest, maybe 2027. So it's not like he's going to be ready mid-season. He's not going to follow the same trajectory as Dominguez did, but. Mm-hmm. If he heats up the way Dominguez did, maybe. I still think 2026 would be the earliest we see Roderick Arias. So we're still a couple of years away from that. Same thing with Lombard. It's 2026 or later for those two.
Yeah, no, agreed. It's going to be a little while, right? And we'll see. I know Lombard's name has been brought up many times. Arias' name has been brought up many times. Again, the Yankees have so much talent. I mean, you also have like guys like Caleb Durbin. I mean, I know that's a name that you have talked about a lot, and I've seen some of his highlights. He looks fantastic. I know he's injured right now, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I think so. Yeah. Last I saw, he was on the IL. The Yankees have had a couple of unfortunate injuries because guys that could have made an impact have either been hurt or they're struggling. Durbin's a guy that could have been on this team at some point. Beater, Warren's been struggling. Poteet just got activated. Before that, he had the blister stuff. Chase Hampton's hurt. He was a guy that we were all very high on going into the season. So, yeah, it's unfortunate that some injuries have piled up there in the minor leagues. And I think Lombard was hurt for a little bit as well. And Vivas started the season on the IL.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys have been hurt. So it's going to be a slow process with some of these younger players, but I trust the system that they've put together that we're going to see progression when they get regular playing time.
100%. Yeah. Again, I mean, got to give these guys some time, and also the other thing I always say too, when these guys get brought up to the major league level, give them time to adapt because we have these high expectations, kind of like what us fans. Some fans had these expectations of Anthony Volpe last season because he was being compared to Derek Jeter. He didn't have a great season. Some fans were like, "This guy's a wash. He's not the answer." It's not Volpe. Send him back to the minors. But this year, he's shown great improvement. So, today was a prime example. He had that triple. Volpe's on fire this year. And Texas Buckeye, IKF is a better hitter than Grisham. I'm not going to deny that. But, the thing is, it's just, Grisham, he's not out there playing every day. That's the thing. IKF he was out there playing a lot of games. He's played more games than Grisham has, I feel like. So, but again, it was just, I like IKF. Like I said, I like the guy. He just wasn't a difference maker. He didn't move the needle for the team, unfortunately.
Yeah, he wasn't coming up with the big home run like Soto did. He wasn't hitting the big triple like Volpe did. But again, we're talking about a guy that's not here anymore. Right. A guy that's with Toronto. He was fun for a season when we had him. It was good to see him bounce back because he was terrible his first year. He was getting booed outside the stadium, which was unnecessary. But hey, he's not here anymore. And that's all.
Yeah.
We can't keep dwelling on a guy that was here for 2 seasons and had 1 solid year. We're not talking. It's not like we let go of Derek Jeter or something and let him go to Toronto, but it's IKF.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing of the past. I mean, he's a player of the past now. Yankees don't have to worry about him, right? They got this is the 2024 Yankees. This is a much different team than the 2023 Yankees. I just hope that they could continue playing as well as they are. Just because, I'm always fearful of injuries, but I think they're much healthier this year than they were last year. Now, granted, they don't have Clark Schmidt at the moment, and I think Clark Schmidt will probably be back after the trade deadline if everything goes to plan, because he's not going to be able to throw a ball for 4 to 6 weeks. So then he'll begin his rehab starts at some point. So we'll see what happens. But I'm glad that Cole is making his rehab starts on Tuesday. Let's see what happens with that. Hopefully there's no setbacks with that. But it seems like he's trending in the right direction.
Yeah. I'm just so happy that he's going to be coming back, man.
I know.
If he's anything remotely close to what he was a season ago, and I'm not expecting him to come out his first start and throw 8 shutout innings. I know he's going to be capped at a certain pitch count. They're going to monitor his innings the same way they're doing with Heel. But just knowing that we have the reigning, defending, undisputed American League Cy Young coming back to the arguably the best rotation of the sport already, that's a huge addition to an already very good team. So we have a lot to be excited about. This rotation's been so good, and it hasn't missed a beat, man. Poteet looked just fine. And if that's what we're going to get for another 2-3 starts until Cole's back, you'll take that every time, knowing that that's the replacement for Schmidt, who's going to be taken out of the rotation for Cole. And we're going to keep rolling, man. It's a fun time for this team, and we're going to be getting our ace back by the end of this month. That's huge.
100%, man. I'm looking forward to that day when he gets back. And, it's funny that all of us content creators, we were having this conversation of who gets taken out of the rotation when Cole gets back. Now Schmidt is out. So it's like everybody's job is safe at the moment. So now it's like, okay, Cole comes back. We know where he's going to be. But what happens when Schmidt comes back? Then what? That's going to be the question now. Right? Because they're not going to
away anyway.
What was that?
And we're not. That's like for another 2 months, maybe.
Yeah. But it's just something to start, to start discussing, right? Because they're not going to go with a 6-man rotation. I highly doubt that.
No.
They'll go with an opener before they do that. But we'll see. I mean, the Yankees.
What they could do. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
yeah, you're good.
By the time Schmidt is back, they're going to be monitoring him as well, because this is keeping him out for 4 to 6 weeks. It's obviously a serious injury. What if they use Heel for 3? Because we were talking about piggybacking Nestor with Heel, but that was assuming Schmidt was healthy. Why don't you do that with Schmidt? You have Schmidt come in after Heel. So if you can keep Heel's innings down, but still use him as a starter, so he's staying on that rhythm, and Schmidt already has experience in the bullpen, you can give him 2 to 3 innings. So you can try to get a combined 5 or 6 out of Heel and Schmidt, piggyback off each other. Maybe they try that. But that won't be till August anyway, so maybe they wait till September to do that when the rosters expand. That's an option. I just thought of that. I was like, maybe they do the piggyback stuff with Schmidt since he's going to be coming back from an injury.
Yeah, they very well could, man. They very well could. They might do something like that. They might do something like that. We'll see. Like I said, they have a lot of options. There's a ton of options at the Yankees. Yankees have a ton of options. They have a lot of depth, something that they didn't lack, last season. So this team is better set up now than where they were, because now it's like, okay, if they have injuries, then all right, well, here's who we have. Here's who we could call up, So they're in a very good position right now. And, I'm glad we didn't get Snell either, Stephen B. Yeah, I mean, he pitched against the Yankees and left the game with an injury. So, yeah, I'm glad it's not us. I'm glad it's not us. I'm glad the Yankees moved on when they did. But I'm wondering what that contract, what that number was that they offered to Snell, because Cashman was on the John Boy show.
Yeah.
And he said whatever was reported by the media is not true. But he didn't say what that number was either. So I'm wondering.
What would you guess? What would you guess the number was? Because 150 seemed a bit extreme.
Right.
But it was also kind of fair for a player like Snell. You think it was maybe like 135 or something like that? Maybe they offered him more years, less AAV.
Yeah, because he was looking for something in like the 30 million range, right?
He wanted 9 years, like 30 million a year. It was something crazy. They looked at Rodon's deal as kind of like the starting point, and then they went up, I would assume, because both Montgomery and Snell used Rodon's contract as kind of like the basis for what they wanted, and then they wanted more. They obviously didn't get that.
Yeah.
I don't know what they offered him because Cashman wasn't specific at all, but I would guess it was something like 6 years for like 140 or something like that. And look, Snell said no. Whatever the offer was, they said no, and it cost them because those pitchers should have been signed as soon as spring training started. Scott Boras should have said, "Look, we waited. We can't wait any longer." And look what happened. Blake Snell's probably going to be gone for another 15 days at least, maybe longer. I think it was a groin injury. Someone said in the comments earlier.
It was a groin injury, so that's a 15-day IL.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that number it could have been anywhere between 125 to 140. You know, and if the Yankees, let's say, I'm just trying to do some quick math here, but like if they said 125 for 5 years, that would have put him at 25 million. I think that would have been a fair deal for Snell if he, assuming that's what the Yankees offered. I don't know. Who knows what they offered him? They could have, they might have made him, they might have offered him a short-term contract with a higher AAV too, for all we know. But whatever, it's not the Yankees' problem anymore. So the Giants can deal with it. We got Marcus Stroman as a result.
Yeah, I think it was it Nightingale that put out an article, or someone put out an article today that Bobby Malone shared, and they said the two best non-moves the Yankees made were not signing Blake Snell and not panicking when Cole got hurt and giving the fifth starter spot to Luis Gil. And I couldn't agree more because, look, I was advocating for Snell. I'm not going to hide it. You were there in our streams. You heard me say it. How many times did I say go get Blake Snell? I won't shy away from what I said. I still think under normal circumstances, he would have been a fine addition to this rotation, but everything works out and everything happens for a reason. I couldn't be happier with what Luis Gil has done. I could not be happier with how this rotation has been. Stroman's been phenomenal. So look, I was wrong, and I'm not afraid to admit it at all. I'm not going to shy away from it. I would have took Blake Snell on this team in a heartbeat. I said it several times. I would have traded for Dylan Cease, although he has been good this year. And I would have traded for Corbin Burns. But the crazy thing is we haven't needed those guys. So look, I can admit when I'm wrong. And I can tell you that this rotation has been probably the best I've seen from a 5-man group in a very long. I don't think I've seen that even in the 90s. I don't think the 5-man rotation was this good. Like it was Wells, Pettit,
Cone
and El Duque. There was 4 really good guys, but they had the struggling Arabu was the 5th starter, and he was terrible. Then 99, it was Clemens, Cone, Pettit, El Duque. It was never 5 guys. Now it's Schmidt hurt, but we're going to get Cole back. And if Cole is anything close to regular Garrett Cole, that's a 5-man stacked rotation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun. They're breaking records that we haven't seen for 100+ years. This is insane. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, and as far as Blake Snell, man, for me, I said, hey, I don't mind getting Blake Snell, but at the right price. I don't want the Yankees overpaying for him, and I've said it many times too, where I am not going to lose sleep if the Yankees don't get Blake Snell. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm really not going to. So, and as far as the Dylan Cease thing, I was totally against it. Only because of who the White Sox were asking for, if the reports are true. I was not willing to give up Spencer Jones or Chase Hampton for Dylan Cease. Yeah, Dylan Cease is pitching good this year, but I mean, Yankees did well against him in that series against in San Diego. Even though I'll say, Dylan Cease, he still struck out 9 guys. Corbin Burns, listen, if he had 2 or 3 years of control, I would say trade for him. But for 1 year, I'm okay. The only way I would have said, hey, go get Corbin Burns only if he promises to sign an extension. That's the only way I would have said to sign Corbin Burns. But he already said that he would that he wants to wait till free agency, which is his right to do so.
Yeah, and look, I don't know because we saw that one report that the names discussed with the Yankees and White Sox were like Peraza, Pereira, Warren, Hampton, and Beater. That's a lot of pitching for one guy.
Yeah.
However, Hampton's hurt. Warren's been bad. Beater's hurt. We have no place for Peraza, and Pereira is blocked. I mean, I personally understand why people want to give that much up for one player. I don't think we'd be missing those guys. I really don't.
Right.
Because the Yankees have several young arms coming through in the next couple of years that are going to replace Hampton, Warren, and Beater. But I understand why they said no, because if they made that trade, Cease would have been in the rotation. Your depth would have then become Heel. Cole gets hurt, so now Heel still has to enter the rotation anyway. And if an injury occurs, who's your sixth start? It would have been Poteet. You still would have had Poteet and Gomez, but you didn't think Poteet would be this good. And it's only 2 starts. So that would have really killed your depth. Will Warren, as bad as he's been, he's still probably the next man up in case something goes really wrong with the starter. They can go to Will Warren and know, okay, let's see if we can get him right before we call him up. But the 5 for 1 is a lot. Maybe if they got another player with Cease, I would have been okay with that. But 5 for 1 is quite a bit.
Yeah. Giving up 5 players for 1, that would have been a risk. And the other thing too, man, is just you can't predict injuries. You really can't. I mean, again, Chase Hampton's out right now, right? Who would have thought he would have gotten hurt, but he did. And then also, Clayton Beater, he got hurt, but you can't really predict these injuries. Everson Pereira, yeah, I mean, he's blocked. I mean, like you said, maybe you could have traded him. Peraza, I mean, who knows what the Yankees are going to do with him? I mean, you figured maybe they're trying to build him up and then trade him in a package, but we'll see. I don't know. But these are discussions that, we have all the time. I know you guys have that discussion, I'm sure. We talk about it on this channel as well. So, but plenty of more conversations like this are going to happen. So, we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna slowly wrap it up here, though. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you to Donald and Rob for jumping on. Being surprise guests. You guys are always welcome. You guys jumping on. I'm like, oh, you know what? Let's have a party. Let's have some fun. The Yankees swept the Giants. They went 7-2 on this West Coast trip. You couldn't have asked the Yankees to do better than that. I mean, 7-2, I'll take it. I didn't think it was going to be 7-2. I thought it would have been the record would have probably been a little different, but maybe 6-3. But we'll see. It's 7-2. I'll take it. They're off tomorrow. The Yankees are off tomorrow. I will have an interview with former Major League Baseball player, and I just want to make sure I get the right name here because I got a couple coming up that were set up. And shout out to my guy Nathan for setting that up. So former Major League Baseball player David Huff. So 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be interviewing him, and he actually did pitch for the Yankees for a little bit there. So he's pitched for a few teams. And then, so that's what's happening tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you guys tune in at 10 a.m. Pinstripe Chronicles podcast with Rob, Donald, and Uncle Tats.
Yep.
They'll be going live tomorrow, so it'll be a lot of fun. I know I was busting Donald's chops a little bit earlier, but hopefully he knows I was joking with him. But
yeah, I think he does. Look, guys, I just want to give a shout out to NFE because the invitation, I know we talked about this in private, but I'll say it on here too. The invitation is always open. You've got the access to the channel. If you want to pop on, you can come on, and we'll have another conversation about this whenever you want. We always welcome you here. And if anyone that's not subbed to us wants to come over and check it out tomorrow, you'll see NFE, whether he's on the show or in the chat. He's always there. He's always talking with us. He's been there for, I don't know how long you've been subbed, a couple of years now. And you've always been lively in the chat. You're always interacting with people and you keep it respectful. And you're a hell of a mod too for us. So, and you're killing it, man. Your channel was up to what, 615? Would you start this in December? You're killing it, man, with all these interviews. I'm very, very happy for you, my dude. It's great to see you because you've been doing a hell of a job. You're live like every single day. And that's a tough thing to do, man, but it's fun to watch your channel grow the way it has.
I appreciate it, Rob. Yeah, no, like the love is real, man. I'm like, at times I feel overwhelmed. I'm not going to lie, bro. Like with all this growth and all this stuff that's happening, I'm like, holy smokes. Like, would I have thought that I'd be doing something like this in a million years? No. Would I have thought that I would have been interviewing some former players? Absolutely not. I mean, Jim Lawrence, I mean, for God's sakes, man, it's like, who would have, I never would have thought I would have interviewed a guy like Jim Lawrence. It's crazy to me, but you never know where life is going to take you, man. That's what I say. And yeah, and I appreciate your guys' support, you and the rest of the crew over there with Rob, Uncle Tats, yourself, man. You guys have been supporting me since day one. So, and everyone else too. So, yeah, going live every day, man. It's just, I've been just like, you know what? Let me start doing some pre-games. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start doing this. So here we are, man.
Yeah, for sure. It's fun. No, I tried. I'm not commenting as much as I want to, but I'm checking your streams out all the time, man. It's busy. It's a busy life that I'm in, but it is fun just watching your channel grow and hearing your input because your chat is great. There's a lot of people that I haven't seen. I've seen a lot of familiar faces from our show, but a lot of people that I don't see on our show. If you guys want to check out the Pinstripe Chronicles, there's a shameless plug. But look, it's you guys. You have a great chat, and everyone's in there is knowledgeable. They know the sport. Ken, that man's dropping knowledge left and right all the time. I love hearing Ken's thoughts. So, yeah,
He's
man,
gonna trade me for a jelly donut and a reliever, dude. You better get a lifetime supply of jelly donuts because if
you're
it's
trading
just
NFE,
jelly donut, you're getting ripped off.
Yeah.
Nah, Ken, I'll tell you something about Ken, man. He jumps on my open panels that I do on Thursdays. The man is full of knowledge. He's been a Yankees fan for a really, really long time. He's kind of one of the old school heads. So he's one of the older guys, and I say that respectfully, but he knows the game in and out, man. So he's always busting fans' chops, and so obviously if like guys like Li were in the chat, he would totally be busting Li's chops. And I bust Li's chops still. So
what a legend. He's been a lot better lately, though. You have to give him credit.
He's good.
That.
He's good.
He's been better.
DFA me? You should get DFA'd, Brad.
We need to have Brad jump into one of these open panels one day.
Yeah, I told him that yesterday. I was like, you need to jump on, man, because me and him we trade those gifts on X. Me and him are always going at it. It's hilarious. So Ken has been a fan since 1923. Oh God.
Deb's using the old jokes on Ken. Nah, those are reserved for Snell, my friend.
Yeah, definitely for Snell. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap things up. Again, thank you all for your continued support. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you to Rob and Donald for jumping on. Yankees sweep. They got the Twins coming up, then the Dodgers. So they got a tough series coming up, or some tough games coming up in the month of June. But I think this 2024 Yankees is a lot different than where they were last season and the season prior. I'm confident in saying that. But still a long way to go. But make sure you all subscribe. Make sure you all hit that like button. Share this out with anybody you know. Any support you give to this channel, greatly appreciate it. And go check out Pinstripe Chronicles podcast tomorrow morning. And I'll see you all tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Got the interview, so make sure you all tune in. Get your questions ready. Have a good night, everyone.
Go Yanks.
Go Yankees.